Hi, and welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to take a look at the Target exclusive Python Patrol Cobra Officer. So this rounds out the final Python Patrol Tiger Force figures that I needed to get until obviously the next ones come out. But anyway, this is it. I was able to pick them up today, not showing up anymore on Pop Finder. It seems like they nerfed that. Who knows what they did. So we're going to take a look at this. We can compare it to the box of the officer. As you can see, I have the officer back there, and I have the O-ring figure. So before we get started, let's take a second, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time a Python Patrol figure drops. And we know there's more coming. Crimson Guard. Anyway, let's just get into this. This is the last one that seems to be showing up, which is kind of odd, but anyway. So we're going to take a look at everything here. We got the Python Patrol, the symbol, got the Cobra Officer, his new deco. I think this is the last of the windowed packages. You can see Python Patrol in the back. And here is the side shot. Now, all they did was, if you look at the regular officer, they just changed the color scheme, the same thing that Super 7 does, and on the side, the artwork is wonderful, so I don't really have a problem with them doing it. They did it to the bats and everything like that, but everything seems to be in the exact same spot. And on the back here, you're going to have where everything goes, where everything is. Again, I don't know if this is part of Cobra Island. It sure seems like it's supposed to be, but who knows? Maybe this is in the Amazon or anyway. So I know what a lot of people are saying just right off the bat. This is not the Cobra Officer. This is supposed to be the Cobra Trooper. And because that's how the O-ring was. This was the Cobra Trooper. They made the Cobra Officer was the actual regular Cobra Trooper. But I don't have a problem with them changing it because this is what the officer is supposed to look like. I don't have a problem with them just going back and correcting things that weren't right back on the O-ring days. And this outfit should be made for the officer. Now, I'm going to say this. I hope they give us in that deco of the Cobra Infantry and the Cobra, whatever the Cobra Island Trooper was. I hope they give us this deco because I really like that Cobra Infantry. So anyway, there's the figure. He is number 56. So let's open it up, take a look at it, review it, compare it to the O-ring. This video should go pretty quick because we've already done the officer. But then again, none of my videos go that quick, not do they? Alright, so we got the officer out of the package, and let me just say, I did a quick look over him, and he is not just a straight repaint. And I'm going to go over that because I thought he was a straight repaint of Cobra Officer, which I know uses some of the infantry or Cobra Island Trooper, uses some of his body parts, but this figure is a total mix and match of these two figures. So let's quickly take a look at them. And the first thing that I can say that I noticed picking him up is he feels a lot softer. Everything seems more pliable. From the gun holster is way more pliable. His harness here is way more pliable. Gun sheath, everything here is softer, including the way the figure actually feels. Just a much softer figure. Is that better? I didn't really have an issue with either one of those figures. Tends to lead me to believe maybe a little bit cheaper. So, quickly looking at him, he is black, which I do like that they have changed up the colors. They're giving us some diversity, and I think that Hasbro, if someone is watching, here you go. A bunch of different Cobra Trooper, Cobra Officer heads in a pack with different races, different nationalities, sold on Hasbro Pulse, and you are going to you're going to sell a bunch because guess what? So many people have it. So many people have army building these. So we'll quickly take a look at them. They have the ab crunch due to how this sets. it doesn't impede and it actually hides the ab crunch, so I do like it. Because a T-pose without a problem. There's your bicep. There you go. No issues there. Wrist move back and forth. Again, he feels very, very rubbery, but not in a bad way, but in a way that I go, all right, he's much softer than the other figures. There's Jean-Claude Van Damme for his drop down hips. Right, they pop back into place. He can move side to side, although that always feels weird. Double jointed knees, no issues. Then you have your boot cut, and then you have your ankle rockers, so you can get him in some decent positions. Now, quickly, we're going to compare him to the O-ring figure, so you can see exactly how much they are alike. Here's our O-ring. So the first thing you're going to notice is that the gray on his vests and his boots and everything is a darker gray. It makes more sense if you're going to be in the jungles, the rainforest, wherever they're at, that it wouldn't be this very light brown, light gray that's just going to stick out. So the first thing that you're going to see here is he does have a Cobra emblem because it is embroidered. But the cross stitching to make it look like a snake or a python, it all looks to be the same. And even here, where it ends right here, it ends here at the elbow also. Now you will see that he has some gauntlets here. And this is where you're going to start seeing that these are a little different. I'm fine with it. I like a little bit of change. So here you have a little bit of difference here. You have his sheath for his knife on the side here. It's going to be the same style as this knife. And again, same thing the Cobra officer has. And then you have his boots. And his boots, I think, look really nice. It's a nice gray. And the boot buckles, the clasps, they're nice silver paint. So it just stands out. It shows, oh, wow, look. They're not just painted gray. They did a little bit. And again, it's not much, but it's enough just to kind of pop. His front belt here, although it is different, it has the circle here and it has a couple little pouches, the same as the Cobra officer. Where you start to see a difference is on the back side, where we have a spot for his flashlight, his extra magazine, and then his sidearm, which this figure obviously didn't have. But even looking at the back of the vest here, it sets the exact same. Now it crosses across here, where this kind of just was supposed to go down to the belt. They made it so it went across his chest, which I like better, and again, it actually helps with the ab crunch. Now, here's the helmet, and again, this looks the same as these other helmets. There's no paint on it, but it does have the emblem right there. Now, looking at this helmet, it looks like it is a little warped. It's hard to see, but it's definitely off. I'm not a big fan that it's warped. Maybe it just needs to be heated. But again, I shouldn't have to constantly do that with these figures. Take a look at his weapons. So here is his one submachine gun. He used the same magazine as the AK-47, so it does come with two of them. And we'll look here, and it's bent. And again, I've really been harping on bent weapons. I have a huge problem with it. We're paying a good amount of money for these figures. They need to find a way to get these weapons straight. Now again, 30 seconds in hot tap water, pull it out, straighten while running cold water, and then run it under the cold water after you straighten, and it's fine. It's done. But I shouldn't have to do this with all my, with all these weapons that I keep buying or coming with figures. These things cost too much to constantly do it. And the technology is there that we shouldn't have to. I don't know if this is a real world weapon. I believe it is a made up one, but it looks pretty cool. And then when you take the magazine, which is notched for only one way, it fits pretty nicely. It actually fits better than the AK-47, at least on the original Cobra officer. And I actually like, once I straighten it out, I like the way that looks. it's just kind of cool. I think that just looks kind of cool. Magazine on the side. Here's the AK-47, AK-74, whatever it is. And looking at it, it looks like it is bent. So I'm going to fix this one too. So this is 2 weapons now that I have to fix. It's bent going down. That bothers me. Now, if this is anything like the Cobra Officer, then it's going to be, it fits and it stays, but if you hit it the wrong way, it comes out fairly easy. So if you're going to be doing pictures, make sure you put this in a box, in a bag, take this off so you don't walk out there with this figure and then realize the magazine is missing. So the handle grip on the bottom, they made green. It does match this green up there, so that makes sense where this one here is brown. But it has a nice little detail. The same thing that comes with the Sergeant Slaughter. The gun is straight. I don't have a problem there. And here you can see that there's a slot here, and that is for the flashlight. Now the flashlight seems kind of difficult to put in there at first, but once it goes in, this one actually went in pretty easily. But there you go. That's the flashlight. It looks good when the gun is straight. I think I bent it here. Who knows? Again, these things are just... I wonder if this bent it because just, I don't know. It bothers me. It really bothers me. I want straight weapons. That's not asking too much. Valorverse doesn't have a hard time doing it. Some of your other weapons, you don't have a hard time doing it. Ugh. And they all do have ports. Again, I will drop a link to the original Cobra Officer video that I did. Go watch that one too. You'll see me compare it to the O-ring Cobra Officer. But they all do have ports for blast effects. So if you want to do blast effects, I'm going to say go buy Valorverse. I think they look the best. They're quick and easy. Look pretty nice. So here's Han Solo's laser pistol, or a Luger or something like that. I think it looks kind of cool. It almost looks like a flare gun. Not that bad. Let's see. And this one here, again. So here's 3 out of 3 weapons of his are not straight. And again, I have a huge issue with that. Again, it doesn't take me much to fix it. It won't take you much to fix it, but why should I have to? That's where the issue becomes. But this is going to fit in the holster, so you can hold everything on the figure. Here's his knife. Again, 2 apps. I like the fact that they give you a silver blade. And even looking here, this blade is a little crooked. I can kind of deal with the sword blade. Maybe he stabbed something and it bent a little bit. Again, 4 out of 4 weapons all bent. Now this fits right on the side. And again, it looks really nice. When you look at the design of it, the shape of it, now it's a different color, but that's fine. It kind of has the same handle head as the Officer. O-ring. And then this here is made so you can hold either the AK or the other submachine gun. Now this one here is softer. So everything here, all the overlays, are way more pliable than the Cobra Officer here. And this figure feels way softer than either one of these figures. But I will show you here, the AK can fit in here really easily. The machine gun. One of these goes, if I remember correctly, one goes the other way. I think it's this one actually. Goes the other way. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Oh, you know what? This is actually... That's the wrong one. That one went over here. Yeah, and these are just like... The feeling of them is night and day. Like this is... For me to squeeze the original Cobra Officer one, yeah, I can squeeze it. It's kind of hard. This one here is super soft. Super soft. I don't have a problem with it, but it is definitely a difference. Alright, so now let's get to what I thought was just a repaint of the Cobra Officer. And I am 100% completely wrong. And this is a mix and match of these two figures. Now, if you didn't know, again, feel free to go back and look at the Cobra Officer review. The legs are the same here. The bicep, shoulders are the same. I believe in the waist. I believe that is the only thing that is the same between these two figures. The Cobra Officer has a completely different upper body. He has gloves, so his hands are completely different. He has different boots, and he has a completely different head sculpt. But the Python Officer, well, he's different. So the Python Officer has the body and arms of the infantry or Cobra Island Trooper. He has the head sculpt, right, he's the head sculpt of the Cobra Officer. He has the overlays of the officer, and then he has the boots of the Cobra Officer. So these boots are completely different. So this is a mix and match, and he also doesn't have the insignia up here, which I think maybe he should, because that would make him the Cobra Officer. So, but anyway, this is a mix and match. I don't have a problem with that because it shows they're doing a little bit. This is the same thing that Valaverse does. I don't have a problem with it. I do like it pointed out though, because you have to understand that's how these figures, that's how they make so many figures. But to give us different and to realize like these boots here cause a problem. Now, I don't really have a huge issue with these boots, but these boots are much better. So I like this body, and I like them using the space. So maybe we'll get a Cobra Trooper done the exact opposite. All right. So there he is. Let's wrap this up, and then you guys can go on your merry way and see if you can find him in your local Target. All right, so there you have it. That is the Python Patrol Cobra Officer. No, I'm not just a straight repaint, and I am fine with that. I don't have an issue with it. I actually kind of like the idea that they looked at some things that they liked and mixed and matched. So let me explain something to you, because often people here right now think that I'm bashing on another company, Valaverse, because I said they only have $3.50. That's why they're able to push out so many figures. Well, Hasbro does the same thing. They all do. If they can reuse the mold, they do. They just do overlays. G.I. Joe and another company like Valaverse, they're able to do it because of the military styles. So even with the Cobra Officer here, the legs and the shoulders and the biceps and the buttocks, I can't think of the waist, it's just a reuse. They did new boots, they did new forearms and hands, and a new head sculpt, and then a new body to make him more look like a Cobra Officer. I like the fact that they did this. They used the trooper or infantry figures, complete body, changed the boots so it's something different, and gave him the officer head, and then the officer overlay. I think it looks really nice. I don't mind that this stuff is a little bit softer. It's more pliable. I do have an issue with the guns being warped. It is a huge problem of mine. If you've watched any of my other videos that I've recently done, especially with Gridiron, we're paying a lot for figures. Now, we may start to look at this and say, hey, this figure was 22 or 23 bucks. 25 bucks is what the G.I. Joe figure is going to be. I don't care that I'm getting all of this. My weapons shouldn't be bent. Well, I have to fix them. I don't want to fix them. That's not my job. I don't work at Hasbro. It happens at times. I get it. But it's happening more and more and more. And it's a huge issue. I order from another company. I want the weapons to be straight. I don't want them brittle. I don't want them to break. I don't want them soft. I don't want them flimsy. And Hasbro, with G.I. Joe, you've done it. You've given us softer weapons that seem to work perfectly fine, that they don't. Hasbro, I've also seen you like this Deadpool up here. He's got an M4. It's just a piece of rubber that's shaped. Like, that thing just moves back and forth. It's trash. All right? You can put it on any way you want. It's trash. Though it looks really nice as long as you keep it straight. Again, rant over. So anyway, here he is. I do like this figure. I think he looks really good. I really do. I had all the Python Patrol figures. I didn't have any of the Tiger Force. It was as I was leaving, and I had found skateboarding, so that's all I really cared about. You know, see skateboarding right here, primitive skateboards. But anyway, I'm not gonna get off on that rant. But I did have these figures, and I don't even have any Tiger Force, but I have all the Python Patrol figures. I think I have all of them. But anyway, that's it. Good figure. I do like it. Here's another thing. You don't need stands. Unless you can do a dynamic pose like they're running, different things like that. For the most part, if they have boots like that, you should be able to stand your figure. So you know what? Buy your stands. You little whining and crying. Oh, I need stands. All these people that complain that the Hasbro stuff constantly falls. Maybe on like superheroes that have a smaller footprint, the females. I get it. But on G.I. Joes, if they're falling all the time, you don't know how to stand your figures. I have a whole display of action dynamic poses, and the figures aren't falling. And that's with Valaverse, that's with G.I. Joe, that's with Marvel Legends, that's with just a mix and match of different figures. And yes, I understand some of the females might have to use a little bit of sticky tack to hold them, but for the most part, the males, no issue. So I'm going to get out of here. You know the deal. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, A Punk with Toys. Go follow me. I don't know why you haven't yet. You're here, right? You've made it this long through the video. Why are you not following me? Especially on Instagram. I'm on there all the time. The Facebook group page, which there will be a link to this video. Punks with Toys, because once you join, you're a punk with toys. And believe it or not, it actually finally has started to grab some traction. But then again, channel is growing, so be part of the growth. Be part of the growth. Join the live stream. Do all that good stuff. Anyway, the last but certainly not least, take a second. If you like this content, subscribe so you're always hit whenever I drop a new video. I've been dropping lots of videos, and I got more stuff coming. Always gonna have stuff coming. Hit the like button. As I mentioned before, always like the content of creators that you enjoy, because that tells YouTube, hey, people in this genre like this, push it out. If you don't like it, hey, just move on. Just move on. I'm not for everyone, I got it. And hit the bell notification so you're notified every time I drop another Python Patrol, Tiger Force, a regular Joe. Who knows? They got all kinds of stuff coming. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Have a wonderful day. Don't leave YouTube and don't leave my channel. Take a second. Watch this video right here, because YouTube says, I think you're going to like this. And I agree. You're going to like my content, so watch it.